This is America Decides. I'm glad you're still here. Finland's Foreign Minister Elina Valtonen is in Washington today. This afternoon, she met with Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Prior to that, guess what? She sat down with me to discuss the state of the relationship between the United States and Finland. I might ordinarily put together a long question, but right now it just feels like one word will get us started. So let me just start with one word: tariffs.
Well, you see, I think the pause that President Trump introduced yesterday was fantastic news. And I think we should really grasp this opportunity to, especially between friends and allies in the transatlantic community, between Europe and the United States, now approach negotiations together, sit down and see whether we could even find a solution which is better than where we started off with. So essentially reduce trade barriers on both sides of the Atlantic, because I think that's what we need. More market economy, which will allow our people to be more prosperous, and then we can also defend ourselves against the threats of this world.
And do you think that flows through the European Union or each individual European country?
The European Union is responsible for the trade policy of all of the member states. At the same time, not all European countries belong to the European Union. But I'm sure that with the European Union, there can be a very good solution found. And we could even, I think, move towards forming a single market within the alliance between ourselves, because that will benefit the people on both sides of the Atlantic.
When you hear the administration talk, as it frequently does, not just about tariff rates, but non-tariff barriers, things like value-added taxes and the like, which are embedded into many of the legislative packages within many European countries, does that make it more complicated to resolve?
Well, you see, I think we should now really use this opportunity to sit down and also look at those different non-trade barriers to trade, because they are on both sides of the Atlantic, many of those, because there's a lot of regulation. And I think as the European Union, of course, I can speak only for us Europeans in this regard, we've gone a little bit too far in what comes to regulation, but that doesn't only harm Americans. It first and foremost harms us Europeans, and that's what we've experienced in the past 10 to 15 years. Europe hasn't grown as much as the United States. And now the new European Commission has set a goal to itself to get rid of red tape and reduce regulation. And I think here we can use the valuable insights we get with our closest trading partner, which is the United States, and make room for business, make room for the wealth of our people.
I'm going to give you another word: NATO.
NATO, I think, is the strongest it's ever been.
Really?
It is, because since President Trump was in office the last time, the European Union or European member states of NATO have doubled their expenditure.
Military budgets.
Exactly, their defense expenditure, and we have only started. Finland certainly has always invested very heavily into its own defense. We now just published a plan to put 3% of our GDP into our defense, and that doesn't even include our conscription-based army.
Are you nervous about this administration's commitment to NATO?
I'm actually not nervous at all, because I think Europe has to do more. Europe is doing more. In the next 5 years, we will have implemented a massive strategy which will benefit the transatlantic link. And we are doing this not just because of Europe, but because that's what is needed to be a strong partner also to the United States. And I'm sure that will be greatly appreciated. We just had the NATO foreign ministerial meeting last week in Brussels, and Secretary Rubio was around as well, and he assured the U.S. commitment to NATO. But together, because the threat assessment we have as the alliance, it's not just Russia, it is also those countries partnering closely with Russia, which is China, North Korea, Iran. Together we just have to be stronger, and I think we're on the right path now.
Being on that point, let me go from one word to two words: Russia, Ukraine.
Yes, I think President Trump, who wants to have peace in Ukraine, he's exactly right. But I think first and foremost, we should have as our aim to keep Russia at bay, because if we are able to keep Russia at bay...
What does that mean?
That means that we are able to really take care of our own defense and deterrence, in the alliance and also help Ukraine, because Russia only understands power. And if we are able to do that, then I'm sure there will be also credible and lasting peace. Because unfortunately, the threat that Russia is posing does not start or end in Ukraine, but it's posing that towards the rest of the freedom of the world. So what we need to do is understand that Russia's threat is there to stay. And now the best thing to do is threefold. Help Ukraine defend itself, and they have done a tremendous job in the past 3 years. Russia has not been advancing at all, or almost at all in the past months, at severe losses. Second thing, we need to be weakening Russia through sanctions. And again, here together, the United States, Europe and Canada, we have done a fantastic job. We just have to continue on this path, because otherwise, if we let go of the sanctions, Russia will start investing all of their rubles again into military, which they are doing now also, and then we will have the threat elsewhere. And thirdly, Europe needs to do more in defense and deterrence, and hopefully, again, together with the US, and we can be victorious.
Two more words. Marco Rubio. Your meeting.
I'm meeting Marco Rubio today, and I had the chance to talk to him last week in Brussels, and we've also spoken on the phone. And I think he's doing a fantastic job and really well representing the president, and also formulating what exactly the US wants to have from Europe, because we need to have frank and direct talks between friends and allies, and that's what I'm here for.
We appreciate it.
Thank
Finnish
you so
Foreign
much.
Minister Elina Valtonen. Thank you so much.
Thank you.